This is your weekly cosmic reflections. It is week 6, and the theme of this week was You Do You. I want to invite you to think about what it means to do you. What does it mean for you to really step into that version of yourself that is unapologetically? Now, I know that you have a pretty good sense of what that is. And yet, every single time we can go a layer deeper. And we have the ability to take a deeper look. Just this week, I was in a conversation with a client and we talked about this spiral that we go. We meet the same devil at each level, at each new level. The devil itself, though, looks a little bit different. It's like a devil in a slightly different costume that pops up and it's like that Jack in a Box shouting, "Surprise, I'm here!" But actually, it's not a surprise. Being an entrepreneur means reinventing yourself, getting to know yourself on a deeper level. It is one big, gigantic personal growth experiment, if you ask me. But that is the beauty of it. That is what makes being an entrepreneur a rich experience. Because you get to ask yourself these questions over and over and over again. And each time you reach a new level, that same devil pops up again. And you can ask yourself, hey, that's interesting. Why is this coming up? The more you ask that question, the quicker you can answer it and the quicker you can move through it. So one of the most important reflections I want you to do this week is because it was like a relatively calm week. Well, not the end of the week, but let's just say in general, the week was quite calm. And there was a lot of practical energy. Think about how have you used that energy and how did you allow yourself to go that layer deeper? What often ends up happening is that you go through the motions and you look back and think, oh, that's when it started. That's when I started seeing the first signals, and yet I completely ignored them. We are going to go into a little bit more intense cosmic weather in March, and I want you to already start noticing the signs and the signals. Because what is happening right now is that both Mercury and Venus are retracing their steps. So they have both already been in this place in their retrograde, and now they are going over the same places that they were when they were in retrograde and that they were before the retrograde. So this is almost like a do-over of that energy. So from a lot of things, they have already come up 3 times. It is your responsibility to look at them and to allow them to unfold. Now, I know for myself, but also for many of my clients, there have been some really intense things come up, especially around relationships and families, mothering and things like that. And this is your opportunity to start noticing the signals. And I don't mean that you need to figure out what this exactly means, where it's going, what is it telling you. I want you to sit down and start noticing them. And I promise you that once March rolls around and the intensity is going to be turned up again, you'll be so glad that you took the time to reflect at the end of each week, start noticing the signals, write things down, and even if it's just a word, maybe the word is marriage, partnership, anxiety, unsettlement. Maybe it is something that pops up in your head and there's no right or wrong. Maybe it's a sentence, maybe it's a whole page. Write things down, start noticing, start feeling into it. And each week build on that. Look at it. Hey, what is it telling me? How can I move forward next week? So when you listen to the Astro Business Forecast, you know what you're working with. Each forecast is not a complete new forecast. It doesn't stand on its own. It's a cycle. It builds upon the previous cycle. And because we work in weeks, because that's how our calendar has been designed, that was a conscious choice, we work with these 7 days. And the number 7 is very important in astrology. And I'm not going to go into that because then this podcast will end up being way longer than I want it. I want this for you to be short and sweet. But I want you to remember that we work in these cycles of 7 to close and open up again. And each time you close these small little loops, when it comes to the bigger loops, the loops that are several months, maybe even several years, the closure of those loops becomes easier as well. So for this week, your assignment, it's not really assignment, my invitation to you this week is to notice the feelings, notice the things that have come up during the week. What words, what feelings, what thoughts? And how can you close a loop that feels that needs to be closed so you can continue on the next one? And be kind to yourself. There's no judgment here. And if the emotion that you felt was anger, frustration, overwhelm, that's okay. We're not looking for perfection. We're looking for honesty. And the more you train yourself to be honest with yourself, the easier it becomes for you to go through the next level and then the next and the next and the next. Because like I said, they all build upon each other. So if you are able to round up one cycle, the next one will have a really good foundation. That's it for this week. I invite you to listen to the Astro Business Forecast that comes out each Sunday so you can tune in to the week ahead. And I wish you a beautiful rest of your day.